Welcome to a new, silly little challenge series, Alphablocked. The main rules here are we can only use items that we've unlocked, and the items that we unlock are, in order, things starting with each letter of the alphabet. So, this will all make sense very quickly as we get into the first unlocks. But first, dropping everything from Tutorial Island. That would just be too easy. And we haven't unlocked any of these items yet. And just to show that was the 25 gold in here, there it is. This account is a regular account because trying to do this on Iron Man would be a little bit more awkward than I really feel like doing. And I've got some short-term goals that would not work very well if this was an Iron Man account. So we're starting off as a regular guy account, doing regular stuff. So, as you might expect, the first item we're going to unlock is an item that starts with the letter A. And here it is, on the ground. Air Rune. And now that we have an Air Rune, we can buy Air Runes from stores, we can pick up Air Runes as drops, we can buy Air Runes from the Grand Exchange. Anything that will give us an Air Rune, we can now do. One of the main ways to start getting Air Runes on account would be to go to the Mage Tutor over there, closer to Lumbridge. Unfortunately, they also give me Mind Runes, which we have not unlocked. So that's not an option just yet. Next, we're going to punch this chicken to unlock the next item. It starts with a B. It's from a chicken. Wait for it. There's gonna be a lot of this, punching chickens. That's gonna be a theme for a little bit here. Come on. Oh, this is not great. This is gonna be slow going until we get a little bit higher stats. Ah, it healed. That's great progress. At least we're getting some attack XP. There we go. Chicken down. And we can unlock our first B item. Bones. A fantastic start to an account. Next up, we're going to go and get our first C item. But I need to quickly see if there's a closer spot to get it. A nice walk to Varrock, and down this staircase, we can collect our first item, starting with a C, coins. That is going to be incredibly useful moving forwards. Because the next item we want, starting with the letter D, we're going to up the ante a little bit here. From very easily picked off the ground to a future-proofing idea. We're going to get a dragon sword with only the ability to have Air Runes, bones, and coins. Step 1 of this plan: Security Stronghold. Most likely, only the first floor for now, because of the whole we are still level 3 deal. But I'm going to go pick up those coins from the first floor. I believe it's 2,000. Bank everything, and try my luck getting through the second floor. And if we die, we'll just be back to Lumbridge with no items because we banked everything. This should be easy, and then incredibly deadly. But there's a chance. got the bank pin and the authenticator set up, so we can open here for 2,000 coins. That is a big jump from a whopping 100 gold net worth to 2,100 gold net worth. Not bad. Now I'm going to go bank this and foolishly attempt to get through the second level. Well, that was easier than I expected it to be. Took no damage because I finally realized, after literal years, you can just go this way. Take the north passage. It's much quicker than going through all of this. Especially this room. Really bad place to be. Anyways, yes. Go this way. You have to go through whopping 2 rooms. Pro tips. You learn something new every day. And you get 3,000 coins for your efforts. I guess since I'm here, I'll go do floor 3. It's probably going to be a lot of waiting for my health to regen. That's fine. For another 5,000 coins, we might as well. Or I could come back later. Nah, we'll do it now. Whatever. Managed to not take any damage from the spiders in the first 2 rooms. So I only had to take 1 hit from a Catabellapon for 5,000 coins. Fantastic. Now we are not going to be doing the final level because that gives us fancy or fighting boots. And that is not an item we have unlocked. Things are going to get more awkward as time goes on, especially trying to do quests and such, because even if it's only used for 1 step of a quest, that still counts. So that's going to take a little bit more planning. But for now, we have 10,000 coins. And that is not enough. Our options for how to raise enough funds to purchase a dragon sword are: find some coins, find some bones, or find some air runes. We're going to be going with bones. So I'm off to punch chickens until I have enough money to buy a dragon sword. Making silly choices. That's part of the fun. Several hundred chickens kicked and punched into oblivion later. Here's our current stats. 16 HP, 17 strength, which allows me to punch 3s. So our attack's up to 15. That got us 449 bones. We take these bones, offer them in here. Please. Please, bones. Okay. We're going to try that again. Drop down the price a little bit. Oh no. Oh no! That's not good. That's not good. When I see the active trade price of 100, I'm thinking, yes, 100. Not the case, apparently. Okay, we sold the bones. We check our GE history here. As our first sale. 92 GP each. Okay. Also, I brought my entire bank out with me. This 1 air rune and my stack of cash now. Now we can buy the dragon sword. And we have to have a dragon sword because we have to actually possess the item that we unlock before we can move on. So we're going to put this in for all the gold that we have. Oh no. That's not good. That's all the money we have. We could sell our single air rune. We can do that. Man, these guide prices, not the most accurate. Alright. So, Dragon Sword. I'd like to purchase one Dragon Sword for the sum of 51,315 GP, please. We're just gonna leave that in there. And while we wait for that to potentially buy, I'm gonna go train one of my stats. And that stat is going to be agility. Because I want to make use of this underwall tunnel for the next plan that I have here. For that we need 21 agility. So you're going to find our way over to the other side of the world. Do some agility training. Getting over here with literally no items is a bit of a pain. I ended up minigame teleporting to Last Man Standing, recharging my run energy there, going through the Castle Wars portal, running, and then walking all the way here. And now we're level 10 agility, so we get to leave. Onwards to the Draenor agility course. I suppose while we're here we can check if the sword sold, or bought. Bought or sold. Somebody has to sell the sword. I'm trying to buy a sword. It's a whole process. As a no. More agility. Well, here is an unfortunate situation. There's a Mark of Grace. And we don't have that unlocked yet. So we don't get to have that. It's going to be a slight problem with that because all the graceful things all start with G. So it's going to take a few rounds before we could even have full graceful. But I suppose there's that whole each individual piece gives part of the bonus, so still a potential unlock for later. But since we can't get a piece of graceful without a Mark of Grace, we couldn't unlock that this time anyways. So these are going to be staying on the ground. And that means I'm going to probably be limiting the amount of agility we do to not waste so many Marks of Grace. It depends. There's 15. How nice. Going for 21. There is 21 agility. We can now use the Grand Exchange agility shortcut, which is precisely what we needed. It's going to come in handy for the next thing we're doing. If we just run around the roofs a little bit more, we can head to the bank. And see. Bank pin. A dragon sword. Collect item. A dragon sword. The only thing that we own. We can't wield it. And now that we own it, we're going to go do something with it. Something peculiar. We're going to toss it straight back into the Grand Exchange for what is likely to be a significant loss. 52,922. Well, we can check. What's our history? We actually flipped it. Okay. That was not my intention. We just... I guess merchanting's technically allowed, as long as it's with one of the 3 items that we can buy. Bones, air runes, and dragon swords. So, technically that's a thing that we could do, but... That's not something I enjoy. So, our accidental dragon sword flip for 1,600 coins. That's okay. Now we have money again. And with that, it's time to unlock another item. Having a big old pile of cash and access to the Grand Exchange makes this very easy. Our first item, starting with the letter E. There's so many options, it's not even going to show us. We have to go to the wiki and scroll through the 7,000 different items pages. It's a whole thing. But yes, the first E item we're buying is the Eye of Newt. We can't use it yet, but we can own it. And that's the only requirement here. So, eventually, once we have gained the ability to do herblore, we can make things with Eyes of Newt. Let's give ourselves a bank placeholder, Eye of Newt. 5 items we now have. And just for sake of keeping all our eggs in one basket, we're selling it back for a small loss. 1 GP? That's fine. Because the next item we're buying, starting with the letter F, it's fire. What thing with fire are we buying? It's the Fire Battle Staff. This is our solution to bridge the gap between punching things and the Dragon Sword. Unfortunately, we're not quite there yet. We need 30 magic and 30 attack. 30 attack is going to come from punching. That shouldn't be a surprise. But magic is not yet possible. We have but 1 air rune, and no other runes aside. So that means we need to get mind runes first. Before we can train magic, before we can wield the staff. But that all comes at a later date. What we're doing now is, instead of just purchasing our G item, because that would be an unnecessary use of money, we're going to go get it ourselves. So we're going to take our fancy underwall tunnel, head on over into Edgeville, and start beating up men. See, we can punch 3s. We're going to stay here at Man House until we get what we're looking for. Also picking up the coins and bones while we're here. Unless we die, we need to train defense. We need defense. That is definitely a thing that needs to happen. We don't have any armor. We don't have any weapons. It's a bit of a mess right now. We'll see how this goes. As expected, the men killed me. I did not go down without a fight, though. Once we get back to our gravestone, we will see how many men we killed. I think we're done here. We have 15 minutes to run from Lumbridge back to Edgeville. Here we go. Let's go pick up our... Oh, technically we get free bones for this, maybe. Well, I think those spawn when you die, and then probably stay around for like 2 minutes. So we're probably not going to get our own bones, unfortunately. We can just pick up the rest of our bones. So let's go pick up our loot. And then try again. As we increase our defense, the hope is that we get to a point where we can just kill them. Anywho, good clip. 18. 18 is the number of men that we're slain before My reign of terror was brought to an end. Let's try to beat that record. Second time around, it took 55 men to bring me down. Managed to die there after banking our second full inventory of man bones. We're up to 14 defense, and it's working pretty well. Since we're back here in Lumbridge with nothing in our grave, I figure we can just fight the men and women over here for a little bit. Shouldn't take too much longer to get what we're looking for. Well, that's the hope. There it is. The first G item. Grimy Rainartweed. Worth a significant amount compared to what we have. And useful pretty much eternally. That'll be a good start to options for picking things up during Slayer tasks and focusing on things like Chaos Druids in the future. The question of when we're going to end up getting other grimy herbs unlocked, they're not worth as much. And the ones that are worth more aren't particularly common either. I guess it all comes down to if there's better things to spend our G's on. But for now, Grimy Rainartweeds, a new source of potential profit. And now it's time to go on a bit of a spending spree. We've got a few incredibly easy to obtain items that'll push us through quite a few more letters. I'm not sure if we can repurchase the Dragon Sword right now. I think we're probably going to wait on that for a little bit. I mean, we don't have 60 attack, so it's a non-issue either way. Let's go to the Grand Exchange. Oh, we're there, yeah. And buy us some new items. So we've got bones, which I'm thinking of keeping for a little bit here. But we definitely don't need a grimy Rainartweed. We can't clean it, because we haven't unlocked Rainartweed. So, it's useful for selling. That's not quite enough for the Dragon Sword. That's okay. Alright. Things that start with H. We're going to be focusing a bit on future skilling options here. And we're going to buy a regular old hammer. Wow, it's more expensive here. Honestly, we're kind of strapped for cash for the time being. So I'm going to go to the general store and pick this up. Okay, we're going to make this work for itself. We're going to go buy a hammer from the general store. And then we need to go back to the Grand Exchange. All these anniversary stuff. Don't know how long this is going to be up, but it's nice. Alright. General store owner. I would like to purchase a hammer for less than 117 gold. Ooh. Ooh. That is an idea. We could merch hammers. They're each worth as much as a bone. They're a lot quicker to get. Yeah, let's do that for a little bit. I'm going to get an inventory of hammers and try to sell them for a profit. This is an option, because we have unlocked hammers. Okay. Let's see if we can get some massive returns on hammers. One hammer in, please. It's a very weird bank. That's obvious. Hello, the people of the Grand Exchange. How would you like hammers? They would like hammers a lot. That's 3K right there. That's probably our best money-making method right now. Buying hammers. It's a lot faster than bones, that's for sure. Interesting. Anyways, back to what we were doing. Something iron. Iron knives. They were cheaper than that. That seems a little expensive. What's it? Iron darts? They're 5. I don't know about that. 27 gold for an iron knife. I guess that's also an option for smithing training eventually, so yeah. Could go with an iron pickaxe or an iron axe, but I don't have any ores unlocked either that we can mine, so future range training options, I suppose. Iron knife unlocked. Next up, another one that probably is worth just going and getting myself. Oh, but then again, I don't think jugs of water are actually what spawns down in Lumbridge. I think that's just an empty jug. That's not what we're unlocking. This is going to be useful in a future quest. Very easy, very few item requirements. Jug of water. That's item J. Okay, for these next ones, we can go back to Lumbridge. So, let us bank our iron knife and our jug of water. And yeah, we should probably keep the cash still. Looks like there's going to be 3 items to pick up in Lumbridge. The K, L, and M items. Should be very quick. Turn on a run. Run in the kitchen. Get ourselves a knife. Multi-purpose. Very good to have. Run over here. And since these are spawns, we can take these logs. And that is item L. Back downstairs. Well, I guess we can go on this side, but we can go get more over here. The answer to a question. How are we going to train magic? The obvious answer is, well, we're going to do Wind Strike, aren't we? So we're going to grab ourselves some mind runes and some free air runes along the side. So now we've got air strikes, wind strikes. We have to auto cast it because our only staff requires 30 attack and magic. You might be seeing where this is going. We are going to be manually casting wind strike to 30 magic now. And if we don't have enough money, we're going to buy hammers. There's probably more reasonable ways you could do this whole thing. But where's the fun in that? Wind Strike. For 28 more levels. And if we stop wind striking, we'll punch him in the face. We're going to need to purchase a lot more runes, though. I'll do a little bit of calculation here and figure out roughly how many runes we need. And then we'll spend our cash. Looks like we're going to need, give or take, 2,000 casts. So, with our power of having coins, having air runes, and having mind runes, we can do it. It's a bit expensive, but that's nothing hammers can't fix. And I suppose, as our target, it's back to men. Maybe we can grab ourselves some more grimy rainer weeds. Make a bit of this back. There's hoping. If you're ever trying to get 30 magic, I do not recommend manually casting some 1800 wind strikes. Turns out, kind of annoying. Kind of annoying to do that. But there's 30 magic. Also, we've gotten some punching in, so we can quickly finish off 2 more guys to get 30 attack. And that means we can wield our first item, our fire battle staff. And it only took hundreds of guys. And we have all their bones, which is going to be useful later. We also picked up a couple grimy rainer weeds. In total, we got 9. So between our money, these rainars, we should be able to get our dragon sword back. Oh yeah. Absolutely trivial to get it back. Look at all that money. We made profit here. And that's not even talking about all the bones. Dragon sword, come on down. And we bought it for 48k. Let me look at my history here. So I bought it the first time for 51k, sold it back for 52, and then bought it again for 48. Well, that's profitable. Alright. So we're going from we can't wield a single item to fire battle staff. 35 melee strength, 28 crush, and some stab for some reason. Even though it doesn't actually have a stab option, so okay. That's fun, I guess. But this should be a little bit better for us. And it's the item we're going to be using to get to 60 attack, but that comes later. Fill this slot back in. Very nice. Now, we can move on to the next letter. The next 3 items are all just going to be purchased. These will be useful later. First up, in the N category, we're getting a needle. This will be useful for crafting and various quests. Gonna need a needle. Of course, instant buy. We've got enough money we can just instant buy things from the GE at this point. I'm not too concerned. Especially with something that's coming up in a little bit. Let's go 100 coins for a needle. Honestly, that's even worth me purchasing these at this price. Because the amount of time it would take to walk to a crafting store, I could just make money. Mostly purchasing hammers still, but yes. So that is our item, starting with the letter N. For O, we're going to get something for a quest. The orange dye. Well, that's a bit pricey. Fair, though. Oh, come on now. Active traded price. Lies. Orange dye. Yes, I'd like to pay a whole bunch of hammers for that. There we go. My intention is to use this in the Goblin Diplomacy quest. I need to make orange goblin mail, so that's going to be another O unlock. But to do that, I need goblin mail and orange dye. And that's why we got this. Starting with the letter P, we're going with plank. Useful in many quests and the start of construction. We still need to unlock a saw and some form of nails, but at least we have part of it done. And now, the letter Q. This one is a bit different. One completed Barbarian Assault tutorial later, we can get a book. Queen Help book. You might be wondering why I bothered to come get this book that tells you how to finish the Penance Queen. That's because, as far as things that start with Q are concerned, that's it. That's the only one we can get right now. I mean, there's only 5 in total, so being able to get 1 is at least something. The other 4 are quicklime, which require us to have limestone and gloves. There's also the Queen's Secateurs, which don't come into play until Fairytale Part 1. And the final 2 are the Quest Point Cape and Quest Point Hood, which, needless to say, we are nowhere near completing all the quests. We've completed 0. That's pretty much like an end goal of the entire account. And it's taking up 40% of the things that start with Q. So, we're going to be skipping Q a lot of times, because we have no other options. And with that weird detour, we can teleport back here now. That's something. Back to the Grand Exchange for a few more items. Next up, another quest item. Well, realistically, we could just pick these up for potential money. The item is raw chicken. 119. That's about as much as bones are. So I could double my profits from killing chickens. Also doubling the amount of banking I would need to do, so. Positives and negatives, I suppose. Raw chicken, along with being a potential moneymaker-ish, is a requirement in Druidic Ritual, which is one of the quests that I've actually mapped out everything we need. It's going to take quite a few rounds through the alphabet here, because we need 4 items that are raw, and then we need to enchant them. But if I'm thinking this correctly, I should be able to enchant this before I need to get the other raw items, so it should work. Next up, starting with the letter S, a very important thing to have. Some food. Salmon are good enough, and will be a very decent choice for training, cooking, and fishing. Roughly the same price as the raw, so that's not going to be a problem. So yes, the item I'm looking for is a salmon. Salmon. And since we're going to be needing a significant number of salmon, what with our whole not having any armor thing we got going on, let's bump that up a little bit and get ourselves some salmon. Very cool. And we're going to take this salmon, go do a bit of combat. But not just any combat. We're going to try starting Slayer with our Fire Battle Staff. And technically we could use Fire Strikes. And we also have our Iron Knives available. We should probably go buy some more of those too. But why not start Slayer with the Museum Quiz? No items required. Free XP. Simple and effective. 9 Slayer and 9 Hunter. That Hunter level is going to give us a few more options for what we want to unlock as potential training methods. It's going to be a little bit awkward because of all the things that are dropped from Hunter, but we can manage. Let's see here. Let's go get our first Slayer task. As long as it doesn't give me an enchanted gem. If it gives me an enchanted gem, we need to wait. And I don't intend to do that. I think how it works is you talk to him, get your Slayer task, and then you'd have to buy the enchanted gem. I don't think you just get it for free. But we'll see. If he gives us the enchanted gem, that would mean we shouldn't have done this quite yet. Because we're not unlocking something that starts with E. We're currently on T. For Turiel. Nah, he's not an item. I need an assignment. Skeletons. Good. That might be a little high level for our no armor thing that we're doing. Maybe we can save spot some skeletons somewhere. That's the plan. Alright. Let's go kill some skeletons, I guess. Very interesting. Don't really know what we're really looking for as far as Slayer is concerned. Also, we can't pick up most things, so... whatever. It's a start. An interesting first Slayer task completed. One thing of note. These skeletons that have the shield have drops. The ones that don't, at least the ones with absolutely nothing on, don't have drops. It's just bones. So that is interesting. As far as levels go, we got 22 strength, 12 Slayer, hit points level. The salmon were absolutely necessary. Went through pretty much a full inventory of salmon on this skeleton Slayer task. But we can hit 5s now, so that's something. Even if we are slower than punching, I'm going to have to assume that the accuracy bonus and the strength bonus is going to make up for that. Let's see if we can get a slightly lower level task. Or, just whatever. What do we get? Birds. Okay. I can work with that. We can just go kill some chickens. Yeah. Yeah, why not? Easy task. Actually an easy task this time. Won't even need to bring food. Good. Now that is a beginner Slayer task. Got the bones and the raw chickens. And now, since it's going to take 11 more minutes before we can use minigame teleports again, we are going to walk back to Berthorpe. Oh boy. Okay, let's see what the third task is going to be. Bats. We're going to go fight the small bats because they have much less combat stats. The giant bats are as strong as I am, and that is obviously not the right choice. Small bat time. Came all the way over here to Pterodermis, whatever it's called, near the weird mine, weird guy. That limestone that we can't get yet. Anyways, that was a good task. Got a few more levels. Working on the defense a little bit. Should help a tiny amount. I don't know how much base defense levels are worth, but it's something. 26 zombies. Okay. I think that I'm going to try to range them. So let's go and purchase ourselves a whole bunch of iron knives. With the funds that we have left, let's get, I don't know, 500 iron knives. It says 33. And I'd believe it. We might not have enough for 500. Might have to sell some stuff. Let's go for 400, I guess. 33 gold. Oh, come on. Iron knives, please. Maybe not the best choice, but I needed something to train range, so See, that's too many. 36. Nope. Well, this is fantastic. Fantastic. We're over here, struggling. How much do you want for these? There we go. 350 iron knives. Let's go find some zombies. I ended up switching back to melee to fight these zombies. They're only level 13, but iron knives with no supporting accuracy from any ranged armor whatsoever at level 1, not so great. If I want to train ranged, I'm going to need at least to start on some much lower level enemies. And those really low level enemies can be my next Slayer assignment. Cows, actually. That'll work. Using ranged, this time, for sure. This was definitely the correct choice for starting our ranged training. Also, we've completed 5 tasks, so that means we'll be able to get reward points. I don't think tutorial gives very many, but it's something, I suppose. And as far as range level is concerned, we got up to 12. And we have 198 knives left. But we're picking up all these bones, so it's something. Alright. First task that might give us some reward points. Cave bugs. Ooh. That could be a challenge. We do not have a light source. That's not good. Okay. And we don't have a rope. Can't go that way. This might be a problem. After reviewing all the possible ways of getting into the Lumbridge Swamp Caves, it is apparent that Slayer is currently locked. We either need, going from the surface, we will need a rope and most likely a light source if we go in this entrance. To go down through the cellar, we need to start the Lost Tribe, which means completing, that's Lost City, Rune Mysteries, and Goblin Diplomacy. We're currently working on unlocking the items required for Goblin Diplomacy, but we'd also have to unlock the ability to do mining, thieving, and there's an item in Rune Mysteries that starts with R, so that's going to have to wait until after we get all the raw meats for Druidic Ritual. So that is, at a minimum, 5 passes through to get to that quest. So, also be 5 passes through to get to the rope. So, either way, Slayer is going to have to wait for a little bit. Well, plus that we can pick up this Mind Rune, I guess. So that means it's back to the Grand Exchange to unlock some items. Let's pick up the next 2 items. Starting with the letter T, we're getting a tinderbox. With our ability to have a tinderbox and also have logs, that is just opening us up the ability to train fire making. My goodness, 3. It's only 3 hammers, that's fine. Some of these low-level items, I think that means it would be better to buy tinderboxes than hammers. Well, there you go. That's a money-making upgrade. I'm seeing the potential. 500 coins for a tinderbox? I actually might get in on that for a little bit. That sounds like a fantastic plan. And in the U category, there's not too many useful things starting off in U. So we're going to get ahead of the game and get ourselves some Ultra Compost to make farming better for ourselves. And now, we need to do some training. I may have gone slightly overboard with the tinderboxes. We're over here in Hosidius, where the tinderboxes come back every 1.8 seconds, which makes it easy enough to just sit around for 3.6 seconds and buy 2 more instead of trying to hop worlds. Makes everything a little bit less annoying. And with that, we have 1,053 tinderboxes to sell. I said I went a little overboard. Wasn't lying. Let's see how much we can get for these. We purchased our first tinderbox for 500 coins. Well, that's the instant buy price. Let's offer a solid 1 tinderbox and see what the instant sell price might be. 250. That's something. What was the buy limit of 40? Active 271. I got some time. Let's put them in for, let's say 300. Oh, that's the quantity. That's not the right button. Over here, 300. And if they don't sell, we can move that sell price down. But we've got a lot of tinderboxes. We already sold one. Thank you. Well, now we know that it's possible. Let's see if we can sell our tinderbox collection for 315,000 gold. My goodness. Well, this is slightly unfortunate. We only sold 36. So we're going to take our tinderboxes and try to sell them again. We can keep them in for at least 100 coins. So ultimately, the tinderboxes were no better than the hammers. And not really viable. But hey, 77k, that'll get us pretty far. That should be enough for now, at least. And speaking of the now, it is time for more combat training. Melee, specifically. And now that Slayer is locked, we're going to have to find a new target. And I'm thinking Chaos Druids. We can pick up the Ranars. They're not too strong. Should be a good plan. Unless we get PK'd. But honestly, we're probably going to still take some damage. So I wouldn't be surprised if we end up having to leave before we even have 3 Ranars. So maybe we'll lose a handful of bones. And maybe some of our salmon. But overall, it's probably not going to be a problem. So let's get to it. Training session completed. The Chaos Druids were a pretty decent choice. We got some Ranars. Here's our stats. 32 across the board. 33 hit points. Combat level, 37. That is all the combat levels we're going to need for the next thing we're doing. But first up, the next thing. Next on my list, training prayer with regular bones. Luckily, they give a decent amount of XP when you get so much more XP per. See, we're already level 2. Level 3. I'm going to scope this area out a little bit. See what kind of problems we might run into at our current level before I feel comfortable bringing money and noted bones. But for this first inventory, we're getting so many levels. Which makes a lot of sense. Starting from level 1. Fundamentally, we're going to want a better prayer training method than this in the long run. But it could be worse. I'm loving these last bones. Those lasted a long time. Almost got to level 9. Very good. And with our current lack of ability to go places, we're going to try banking over at the Ferox Enclave. Seems to be faster than killing ourselves and walking from Lumbridge or walking back to Edgeville, so that's the plan. Let's get the prayer level that we need. A level 21 killed me. And this is why we're not bringing multiple inventories at the same time. I hope he enjoys the regular bones. Then they might actually be on the ground. So we're going back. This is the struggle. Wilderness. Terrible place to be. A guy with a dark bow attacked me. Right over there. He didn't kill me though. Somehow. So I'm going to take more bones. And take a slightly different route back. I'm sure he's gone. Pretty sure that was the same level 21 again. We didn't lose any bones this time though, so yay. I'm going to unlock a different prayer training method before I bother with this ever again. Oh, you save half your bones. It's so effective. No, it's really not. Much like everything else in the wilderness, it's worse because it's slower, because you're dying constantly. The struggle. It's going to be a while until we can unlock the items required for a player-owned house altar or the ectofunctus. And I'd have to bury 7 times as many bones, even. Could just eat the cost right now. I think we have enough bones, but for the time being, I want to preserve my resources. So we're going to try to keep doing this. Got the prayer level we were looking for. And then even one more, because of how the inventories worked. We are not quite where we want to be yet. And where we want to be is not here. I need to get, at this point, probably one more level, which is likely to be hit points. And then we should be ready to go. That'll do it. 34 hit points gets us 40 combat. And that means we can play pest control. We won't be able to help with building the barricades, but nobody really does that, so that's not a problem. I mean, could we? No, we don't have an axe yet. We could bring logs and our hammer, but that's not really a good choice. Pest control. We're here for the next item. We're going to go get the Void Knight top. Starts with a V. All around, a good item to have. Eventually we're going to get full void, because there's really not too many things that start with V. I'm sure I'll think of some other things later, but having an all-around good piece of gear will be useful. Now we just have to go be a huge detriment to the team as we bash the pests with our fire battle staff. Fantastic plans. Okay, so this isn't going very well, unsurprisingly. We are getting, I'd say maybe 50% of the time, any points, because we don't hit often enough to keep our activity up. So what we need to do is go train some more. We got, looks like 6 games completed for a whopping 18 points and many other fails. So what we're going to do is we're going to get these stats up to something a little bit better. And we're going to do that at sand crabs, because I don't feel like having to bank stuff and such. So just going to go get some more stats to make this actually work. Now that is a nice group of levels right there. 40 attack, strength, defense, and hit points. Combat level 48. Now we should be ready to play some novice lander pest control. At least that's the hope. with this much improved attack level and the 10% attack prayer, hopefully we'll be able to hit at least a little bit. There is 252 Void Knight commendation points. There was a bit of a struggle in there. Sometimes it felt like there was some people that weren't pulling their weight. Like they don't actually help very much. Well, that's not a problem, because we're done here now. We're going to grab ourselves the Void Knight top. We can't. We need the levels first. Ooh. Okay. I can work with that. That's fine. We got the attack, strength, defense, and prayer done. So I just need to get the magic and ranged, which is slightly unfortunate, because I had a plan here to get these after this and the next items on my list. That's fine. That's fine. I can deal with this. We're gonna go and get ourselves more iron knives and some runes for fire strikes. Also, we made 38,000 coins playing pest control there, so that's pretty cool. We're combat 51 now. Ain't that something? Slightly slower range and mage training than I expected. Coming right up. Okay. Let's see what we're working with. We got the 38,000 coins from pest control. 81,000 coins in our bank. We got some iron knives, some mind runes, some air runes. Got these ranars we could sell. We could technically sell the bones, but keeping those for now. We've got the rest of our tinderbox money, another 37,000. This should definitely be enough to get 42 ranged and magic. Another 30k there. That is not a bad cash pile. Not bad at all. So what we're going to start off with, don't know exactly how many of these we're going to need. Let's get 2,000. 2,000 of each. 2,000 knives, 2,000 mind runes. Well, not quite 2,000. I'm going to get it up to 2,000, so 1,734. And then we need to get up to match that, we need 4,000 air runes. Right. Buy air runes. Because we have the fire staff. Well, fire battle staff, to be specific. So we're going to need 3,614 air runes. These are a lot cheaper than the knives, not going to lie. Oh well. Iron knives are pretty good. I'll take it. And I think we're gonna need more iron knives than the spells, perhaps. Well, they do come back like 80% of the time or something. Oh, come on. We don't have any other options. This is the only way. Well, there might be other ways to train range, but they're probably excessively slow. What I'm going to do is just bite this. Oh my goodness, why? We've chosen a poor range training method. That much is abundantly clear. Might want to look into Actively trade price 29. It's not a Throne of Lies. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're going to keep this offer in. We're going to take the runes and start with that. I'm not paying more than 50 each. My goodness. So we will start it off with Fire Strikes. A solid 2,000 of them. And hopefully by that time, these Iron Knives will buy. This worked out very nicely. 42 magic, with a few runes to spare. And we go to collect 2,000 Iron Knives. Hopefully, this is enough. But we're only level 12 ranged, so I guess we will have to see. We ended up having plenty of knives for 42 ranged. When we started, and we were sub 20, wielding only iron knives, it was slow going. But at this point, I'm pretty sure that this is our strongest attack style. Since Fire Strike is capped at level only doing 8 damage, and the staff is even worse than that. There were points here where both of the sand crabs at the 2 sand crab spots were dead, so we would need to move on to a 3 sand crab spot. Also, we have 900 knives left, which is pretty good. But with that, we can go to Pest Control and get ourselves that Void Knight top. Overall, even though this was a little bit longer than it should have been, if I could have just purchased this and gotten the levels later, not too bad. Void Knight top. Confirm. And we still have 2 points left for whenever we come back and we get more Void. But it's still pretty good armor. It's also, it's a thing that starts with V. There's not particularly many. But here we go. The first time we could equip the Fire Battle Staff, and then Iron Knives, and now our third item, the Void Knight top, with some very solid defenses, especially compared to literally 0. Well, no, not literally 0. Just a little bit of defense. 10 magic defense from a staff. Fantastic. Now we are ready to go. And we are ready to go back to the Grand Exchange. Let's finish this. Our first W item. Pretty obvious. It's water runes. These will be useful for all sorts of things. Quests included. Grab a handful of these. Need to put the void to make a placeholder in here. Eventually we're going to need to not have a placeholder for every single item. And there's going to be some items that we can't get a placeholder from because they're in quests where you can't take them out of the area. But we'll deal with that later. That's W. Here's one of the items that I wanted to have while we were working on getting the levels for Void. Starting with the letter X, it's Zerishian. And we're going to get the top, because that was the most mage bonus. Very nice. Compare that to the Void, which doesn't give any accuracy. This is another plus 12. More than doubling our magic accuracy. Which is definitely something. Nowhere near the defenses, though. So it's useful where it's useful. X. Another one that we wanted to have. Start with the letter Y. And I'm only partially sure this is going to work. But either way, we can purchase it. We don't need to use it, really. But yak hide armor legs version. Not surprised that this isn't selling. Typically, you would just make this yourself when you're doing Fremnik Isles. But you don't actually have to. You can just come here. Buy it. Maybe. Depending on if anyone's selling it. Yeah, there we go. 500 coins. That's doable. And now the question is, can we wield it? Yes, we can. A very interesting piece of armor. It's got negative mage bonus, negative magic defense, negative magic accuracy, but ranged accuracy. Tripling our accuracy with the iron knives. Weirdly, does not seem to have a range requirement, but it has a higher range accuracy bonus than green dragonhide does, which is just a thing that exists. And that is why. So that leaves us with a final item to get. And it's going to be, start with the letter Z, of course, that is the letter. Zamorak plate legs. We got a piece of mage gear. We got a piece of range gear. Kinda. It's a weird piece, but it's got range accuracy. That's what you want. Zamorak plate legs. Pretty pricey. Very good for us. Compared to the literally nothing that we've been rocking. Come on. We've got enough money. We can afford this. Zamorak plate legs. I guess we go for the plate skirt, but eh. Zamorak plate legs, please. There we go. 46,000 coins. Not bad. Substantial defenses, except for in magic. Slightly more defenses than the Void Knight top, but we can use both of them. And the staff. And that is some solid stats compared to what we had before. And with this, our new, very powerful setup, there's just one more thing we need to do. I want to wield my dragon sword. There is a very big milestone in this whole dragon sword escapade. 47 strength. Also, 350 total level. For what that's worth. 47 strength is enough to get me a new max hit, inaccurate, of 9. And the next max hit isn't for many levels. So I think it's probably more worth my time to head straight to 60 attack. Minimize the amount of time I'm spending here whacking Chaos Druids with my fire stick. So we're going straight from 47 to 60. Probably going to do a bit of Chaos Druids here. Grab up some stackables and rano weeds for some good profit. Maybe head over to sand crabs. Depends how I'm feeling. Let's get the final levels. And there it is. We are done. It only took a very long time. That shouldn't be surprising. But we're going to head back where it all started to finish this up. It's finally time to ditch this silly stick for the dragon sword. So let's compare some stats here. 28 crush, 35 strength, and a slow weapon. Compare that to the dragon sword. 65 stab, 63 strength. Not quite double the strength. Not quite double the attack. Or more than double. Yep, more than double the attack. I guess it's slightly worse at slash, but still. Way better. Now this gets relegated to just being our magic weapon. Pretty good. Ending bank value here. 485,000. The Ranars are quite a bit of that. So that's going to be nice for future purchases. Let me just get out my good gear. And this. So, in total, we've unlocked all the combat stats, plus agility. We've relocked Slayer. And don't forget, we can train fire making. We can train fire making all day. We can even pick up these logs. I don't know if I would have allowed using these logs on the ground, since technically we don't have them, but we've unlocked logs anyways, so that's acceptable. We have a lot more skills to unlock, and quests to start until we come into a problem with the whole we can only unlock things in a very specific order. That all starts next time. Goodbye.